Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. So with 1.4 approaching, what are your banner plans? Because not only do we have JingLiu and Topaz, we also have Seele's rerun. Now, let me break it down to you because the CM bros have been cooking, and we get to see their recommendations on what to pull for, and of course, the reason why. Now, we've got the JingLiu video, the Topaz video, as well as a Seele video. So this is basically recapping and looking at if the Seele rerun is going to be worth it. Because Seele, in terms of her banner, it's going to be very unique in the sense that her banner is going to be separate. Now, if you play Genshin Impact, I think starting from version 1.5 or 1.6, as someone told me, and correct us if I'm wrong, that we started getting dual rate-up banners. That means you can get 2 rate-up units that are in the same banner, whereas Honkai Star Rail has kept them separate, right? So we have JingLiu as a banner, and she's the rate-up unit, and then we also have Topaz. So very, very different in that sense. And yeah, so let's see the recommendations. Now, they are going to go through essentially what they do, and JingLiu here is a very, very strong destruction damage dealer. Now, for what it's worth, we currently know that JingLiu essentially is going to be competing against the Blade and Dang Han in Bibitter Lune version if we're just looking at the class, right? Destruction class. But Blade and in Bibitter Lune, they do different things. In Bibitter Lune is honestly just broken, and then Blade is more of a pseudo support if you have him at E0, for example, because E6 Blade is completely different beast, right? But E0 Blade, you are able to run him as a pseudo support, and it actually does have some synergies with JingLiu, because JingLiu consumes team's HP, and of course that gives Blade his 1 stack, but also JingLiu has a pretty unique build where you can see here that when she gets into the fight, if you use her technique, of course you can start the fight having a chance to freeze the enemy, and also having that 1 stack of her, I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's the crescent shaped moon thing, and by having 2 stacks you go into her blindfold off form, as I like to call it, and it's absolutely monsters in terms of the damage she can output. Now, this is very interesting because she's technically single target, but as she transforms and uses her ultimate, she is going to be AoE. Now, Topaz, on the other hand, has a very, very unique, very unique kit. Not only does she do a lot in combat, outside of combat is also very, very special. So her in combat gimmick is basically follow-up attacks. She's going to be able, and guys, this is from the live stream, okay? So from the live stream that we did for version 1.4, she's able to essentially assist and make your units that do follow-up attacks, so Kafka, Clara, Jingyuan, for example, do a lot more damage. And also, the follow-up attacks also synergizes with her built-in Numbi, right? This little piglet. And you know what? I think she is unique in the sense she really reminds me a bit more of Kafka, in the sense that Kafka basically unlocks a new form of play, right? Kafka, the dot overtime, the dot team basically was not existent before she came by, but with Kafka they started to unlock some of the potential. Now, is Topaz going to unlock a follow-up attack team synergy? Most likely yes, but we don't really have units that are super outstanding, so you're more likely investing in the future in that regard. So I personally think in the combat kit wise, Topaz on release is not going to be as impressive as JingLiu, and that's what they talk about here as well. But for example, future-proof value-wise, then Topaz definitely has a shot, because follow-up damage, I mean, we do have Elation as a similar universe path as well, so we definitely know follow-up damage is going to be somewhat of a viable team build in the future as they release more units. But so far, you know, Jingyuan, Clara, Kafka, and Himeko are going to benefit from Topaz. But this is the insane part, right? Topaz, the little Numbi, is going to be able to find treasure boxes on the map, and it's going to attract the warp trotters as well. I think that's honestly just broken, and that's not all. When you go into the simulated universe, if you have Topaz, you gain more credits, okay, which I think is honestly, like, the design is crazy. You gain more credits and you gain more material drops. just from having Topaz. I think you have to activate the technique or it's a permanent buffing. I'm not 100% sure. We have to wait for the official release, but she does have those mechanics and she does have the ability to gain even more buff. So Topaz, in terms of future proof, I think has more value in comparison to JingLiu, but JingLiu I think is going to output such insane amounts of damage that if you don't have, for example, Daihan and Pipita Lune, if you don't have someone like Seele, for example, or if you're looking for a new shiny toy to be your frontline DPS, your tier 0 DPS, then I think JingLiu is the best call. Also, if you have, for example, Bronya, Tingyun, those units that can support JingLiu a lot, because JingLiu takes 2 turns to go into her blindfold off skill set, right? So you need Bronya, fast JingLiu, just wants to be faster, so you can go JingLiu, Bronya, JingLiu, and that will give you that, or you can go Tingyun charge. Now the third character, Guin Nai Fen, and she is on the banner of Topaz, so not on the JingLiu banner. She's gonna be able to help Kafka as part of a new 4-star dot enabler, and it'd be interesting to see how she compares to Luca and Sample. I know a lot of people, myself included, I didn't really build Luca as Sample and went for kind of the hyper carry build with Kafka, but maybe this new dot damage dealer will be able to change things by essentially being a 4-star version of Kafka in terms of the dot explosion type, right? So very, very interesting. Now, I know you guys are here basically essentially to see the conclusion. So for the CM Bros, they've said if you're looking for a hyper carry, JingLiu is your choice. She has a very, very unique kit, but it's not, you know, honestly game breaking, but I think she's going to output insane amounts of damage. So if you need a damage dealer, or if you're a waifu lover, right, no questions asked, if you're a waifu lover like myself, go for JingLiu. And if you have Blade and especially Bronya, then JingLiu is going to be definitely worth it. Now on the other hand, if you're looking for a more future-proof investment and you like the technique of having Topaz and boosting your similar universe drops, all the material drops, and all these unique mechanics that she brings, and of course having that follow-up potential for the future, then going for Topaz is definitely the call, because Jingyang would benefit Kafka, Himeko, even March 7th, all these unique builds that you can now essentially tackle with Topaz is going to be quite interesting. And even Clara I think is going to be really crazy with Topaz. Now looking at Seele, I'm not gonna go over this entire video because it's 26 minutes and we're almost reaching 10 minutes with this one. But his breakdown of Seele is that you know what, Quantum, especially mono Quantum now, is always going to be extremely strong, right? It's going to be super strong, and it's very interesting that if you take a look at it this way, Quantum team is very well liked by the devs. That is in their, I would say, breakdown, because if you take a look at it, right now we have 3 limited Quantum: Seele, Silver Wolf, and Fushan. I think if you have Silver Wolf and Fushan, it's a pretty decent choice to pick up Seele. And if you don't have either of them, you probably can just wait for another power creep in DPS. But for Seele, a couple of things. Quantum is very much loved by the devs. We never had any units in terms of memory chaos that has more than 20% Quantum resist, right? So Quantum is very much loved, and Silver Wolf has a free event cone. Well, if you missed it, that's unfortunate, but she has a free event cone. Seele benefits from the Herta cone that does really well to in comparison to the signature cone, like only 10% difference. And the better your Seele's gear is going to be, and they break it down, the closer that cone is going to be for Seele at E0. E2 is different, but for E0 that's the case. And for Fushan, you can also use another Herta cone, right? 5-star free that you can super imposition 5. So Quantum is very much loved, and we don't have a Quantum Harmony unit just yet. So once we get a Quantum Harmony unit that can buff and complete the mono Quantum, I think it's going to be pretty nuts, because right now this team is still somewhat skill point hungry, right? Even if you enter the battle with Silver Wolf's attack and Fushan's field active, Seele is still going to consume a lot of the points, and Silver Wolf is going to consume quite a few skill points as well, especially in memory chaos fights where it's multi-targeting. Single target, of course, Silver Wolf and Seele, honestly, uber broken, but for multi-targeting, if Silver Wolf is to apply all the bugs implants on both sides of the enemies, because there's usually 2 or 3, then skill point becomes an issue. So then you would have to think about potentially a slow Fushan, right, or a fast one for generating skill points, but slow so that you don't even have to activate the field again. Or we are going to have to look at a quantum harmony unit that's going to be very skill point positive, very skill point positive. And a lot of people that run the team right now, they run Team Weak, right? So they run this team to either a Quantum Weak unit, enemy, or a Lightning Weak. Because if the enemy is Lightning Weak, then you are applying Quantum Weakness if the enemy is not weak to it already. So that's the current way of getting planned. They're making some... they're making some Honkai, sorry, Genshin Impact references on saying how you can have mono quantum and the future is very bright, so you'll be able to use them for the rest of the time. So overall, I think the summary is going to be if you have a Bronya and if you have Blade and you don't have other mono quantum pieces such as Fushan or Silver Wolf, then go for JingLiu. But if you're looking to invest in the future and you like the mechanic of the Topaz, the follow-up attacks, and you like things like the outside of the map, so similarly universe pickup, then go for Topaz. But if you have Silver Wolf, you have Fushan, and you're looking for a mono quantum team, then you can consider Seele. But honestly, I think the most important thing is if you have an E6 QQ, honestly, she does as much, if not more, than Seele. I know it's crazy, but E6 QQ is a completely different beast. Okay? And it's a lot easier to get E6 QQ through the shops, through random pulls, through drops, and all the events that you can essentially get 4 stars versus Seele with E0 and potentially not even her signature comb. So that's the breakdown in the CM Bros plan for version 1.4. Let me know your thoughts and what are your plans. I'm going to skip the reruns. Do you like how it's being done? And what are your thoughts on the future of Honkai Star Rail? Because this patch, version 1.4, is only going to last 5 weeks, right? It's not a humongous patch in the sense that I think our normal ones are at minimum 6 weeks. So this is 1 week shorter. I wonder why, especially we've got 2 banners plus a rerun, and it's a shorter patch. I'm going to take a guess and say that because they saw the feedback for version 1.3 saying that, oh wow, the story is so short, and actually version 1.4 doesn't have that big of a story content, so they're gonna shorten it and then push some giga story mode content for version 1.5, which we've had the sneak peek and drip marketing for, so I'll talk about that in probably a separate video. But very excited. And Huo, is that her name, Huo? Or well, I need to check it out. And Argenti are definitely definitely what I'm looking out for, and especially the 4-star Hanyang or Hanya. Ugh, damn, silver hair waifus. That's why I'm pulling JingLiu. But anyhow, it's TimaeuSS here. Let me know thoughts, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye now.